You're absolutely right. I mean, if you think about it, if you're a business, it's absolutely essential that you're connected up to the road network. It's absolutely essential that nearby you've got freight terminals to move your equipment on. If you're a manufacturer, you need access to ports in order to ship your goods out of the country. You know, broadband is as essential as that. I represent a rural constituency. If you don't have fast broadband, you are completely disadvantaged as against your competitors in other parts of the country that do. I think there's a UK-wide picture here, which is, is the market moving fast enough? And I would argue, yes, it is, that actually we've got very good operators in this country, the Vodafones, the O2s, the EEs and the rest of it. We've got a good licensing system that is moving through 3G, forward to 4G, and the rest. We've got a broadband build-out which is going ahead of many countries in Europe. But some of these elements are devolved elements in terms of what the Scottish Government needs to put in, as we are putting in England, in terms of how you get the crucial last 10%. And this is difficult because, as you build out to villages and rural communities, it is expensive, and getting to the last 10, and particularly the last 5%, is going to need a lot of creativity. But I'm very focused on it, and I know that Scottish members of Parliament like David Mundell and Danny Alexander are as well, and it'll be that combination of the UK licensing system plus the local action to invest in the broadband that will make a difference. And at the same time, we've also got to deal with these mobile not spots. All of you who do business, you don't just do it in your office, you're doing it as you're driving along the road. Obviously, with a hands-free phone, you're not breaking the law. But, there are too many A roads and B roads, frankly, where the coverage is very patchy. And this is immensely frustrating. And we need to do more to pressurize the operators to build more masts, to share masts, and to build out that capacity more quickly. And also look at this issue of roaming, where, there are European countries now move faster towards roaming, and we need to have a good look at that ourselves. So you can whatever operator you use, you use every mast. Let's have one right down here, sir.
Anton Moscatelli, Principal, University of Glasgow. Prime Minister, your government has protected and ring-fenced science and science spending. And that's been really important, I think, over the last few years, because during the economic crisis, it was important to give that signal. Going forward into the next Parliament, will your party continue to do that, seeing science as a driver of business and innovation?
Well, you're tempting me into writing the next manifesto, which is obviously something I'm getting on with. I think it was a good decision to ring-fence science. What this government has tried to do is say, look, we inherited a difficult economic situation. We're only going to succeed as a country if we take some difficult long-term decisions. So let's not cancel vital infrastructure like HS2 and road and rail investments and port investments. Let's stick to them. Let's not cut the science budget, because actually that has a long-term benefit for Britain. And let's take difficult decisions in spending areas like welfare, where proper reform can yield some savings. So we've tried to do what a business would do, is you protect the long-term CapEx while you actually bear down on your current costs and try to be more efficient. I mean, that has been the approach of the government. Will we continue it? I think it's very likely that we will, because we think it's been successful. I think also Britain has got to play to our strengths. We are in a very competitive global world, and we need to ask ourselves, well, where are our areas of natural competitive advantage? And I would argue you've got areas like aerospace, where next to the Americans, we've got the best aerospace industry in the world. I'd point to areas like financial services, not just London, but of course, 100,000 people employed in financial services here in Glasgow, another 100,000 in Edinburgh. It's clearly an area of great expertise. I would argue about areas like pharmaceuticals and life sciences, where we've got great businesses right throughout the United Kingdom and a research base that we can be very proud of. But I'd also put sort of science-based businesses, and particularly the link between science and health, right up there in terms of where our competitive advantage lies. And again, this does come back to the issue of the future of Scotland, because of course a separate Scotland would have strong universities, and those universities would collaborate with English and Welsh universities. But why go to the bother of separation when actually the partnerships between Glasgow and Edinburgh and Cambridge and Oxford and UCL are so strong and getting stronger all the time? And why risk separation when somewhere like Glasgow University or Edinburgh University, of course, not only gets money from its students and from the Scottish government, but actually gets UK science grant money as well. And to me, it's another example of how, if we're going to play to our strengths as a nation, we should play to our strengths as a united nation rather than a separated one, because actually Scottish science, I think, will do better as part of UK science.